News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A small earthquake rattles parts of southwest to make that northwest Montana. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Wednesday, November 12th, 2014. Right now we have a chilly 5 degrees above zero with a wind chill factor down around 12 below with a wind at 13 miles per hour. Our newscast this morning is sponsored by Dig It Excavating, bringing 30 years of excellence to your job. Call 214-4292. A small earthquake shook the area around Thompson Falls about 3:30 yesterday afternoon. Mike Stickney with the Earthquake Studies Center at the Montana Bureau of Mines and Geology in Butte has details.
Well, there was a little burst of activity up just south of Highway 2 between Libby and Kalispell. About 15 miles to the southeast of Happy's Inn, magnitude 4 earthquake occurred.
Stickney describes the reaction to the quake and if there was any significant damage.
There have been a number of people in the local areas that have reported feeling it from Libby and Kalispell and points in between. At this point, the level of shaking was enough that people noticed it, but would not have caused any damage.
Stickney said yesterday's Temblor was just a gentle reminder that Montana is earthquake country. Governor Steve Bullock was the keynote speaker at the Missoula Veterans Day ceremony yesterday at the county courthouse. He reminded the crowd that America had made promises to those who were willing to fight for their country.
When we as a nation send our soldiers, airmen, sailors, and Marines out to defend our freedoms, we're also making a promise. Promise that when they return, that we all will ensure that they have access to care for those wounds.
The ceremony was held inside the courthouse rotunda due to the inclement weather. A 25-year-old Kalispell man who was on probation after pleading no contest to assaulting a Flathead County Sheriff's deputy in September of 2013 has now been charged with punching the Whitefish police chief on Halloween night. And breaking his nose. Caleb Bazell is charged with felony assault on a peace officer. He's jailed in Kalispell, and the district court arraignment is set for November 13th. A 16-year-old Whitefish girl died when the car she was driving pulled into the path of a logging truck at an intersection on Highway 40 southeast of Whitefish. The Flathead County Sheriff's Office identified the victim as Tabitha Mary Migwee. She was a student at Stillwater Christian School in Kalispell. Right now, the Missoula Police Department spending a portion of the $300,000 grant awarded by the U.S. Department of Justice's Office of Violence Against Women. The grant's good for 3 years and will go toward three main expenditures. Captain Mike Collier explains where the bulk of those funds are going.
One of the big expenditures is the funding for a crime victim advocate to work directly within the Missoula PD, embedded right with the detective division for the police department. So 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. We have a CVA that's working side by side with the investigators to provide a number of victim services to people who are victims of domestic and sexual violence.
The new special victims advocate is Aaron Catterton, who already has over 10 cases to work on. Other funds have been directed toward constructing what Collier describes as a soft interview room.
It's a little bit more comfortable, kind of, largely looks like a living room setting. So when a victim is not comfortable reporting to the police department in our building, there's an alternate location at the CVA's office to make that report to law enforcement, and yet we still capture all of the audio and video recording that we normally would inside our building. It's also just an extra overflow resource for us.
The grant will also help cover the cost of any after-hours nurses from St. Patrick Hospital who may be called upon to do an initial assessment on sexual assault and domestic violence victims after hours. The Montana Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory in Bozeman has regained the full accreditation it lost back in 2003. The Bozeman Daily Chronicle reports the American Association of Veterinary Laboratory Diagnosticians granted the lab full accreditation, which lasts through 2015. Former Governor Judy Martz has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Martz's former communications director, Chuck Butler, says Martz was diagnosed in the past few weeks. She's receiving medical treatment at the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale, Arizona, where she and her husband, Harry, have a home. The National Weather Service is predicting that west central Montana could experience a significant snow event starting tomorrow night into Friday. Meteorologist and chief forecaster Bob Nestor says that computer models are showing that parts of eastern Idaho and western Montana could receive several inches of snow.
We already have cold air in place across western Montana, and there's a relatively warmer, moist air mass approaching the area, which is a pretty classic pattern setup for some good snows as the low pressure moves just south of the region.
Nestor says there'll be a wide swath that will experience several inches.
Right now, we're looking at anywhere range from like 2 to 6 inches of snow from west central Idaho up through Lolo Pass, Lost Trail Pass, and into the Bitterroot Valley. Missoula kind of lies on the northern edge of this potential snowfall. It's not out of the question to see a 2 or 3 inch snowfall in Missoula, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get very little.
Nestor says following the snow event, the area will experience yet another few days of frigid weather starting Friday, followed by moderating weather by early next week. So up and down we go. Our News Talk time, 6:38.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Ample sunshine today, but cold. Our high temperatures will be stuck in the mid to upper teens with wind chill readings some 20 degrees below zero at times. Winds will be out of the east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.